Hello, this is Eric from the Stratford Public Library Makerspace. Welcome to MakerCon. This is special effects in cosplay, and we're here to answer as many of your questions as we possibly can. And let me show you a whole bunch of really awesome examples of some really easy to do LED effects and special effects. These LED finger LEDs are one of my favorite things to use. You can get them for $1 for the 4 of them at the dollar store, no problem. They come in 4 really bright colors, and they come with batteries in them. They'll last pretty much the whole day, and basically you just turn them on, and you can stick them onto a costume, you can glue them onto a costume, you can hide them places, and they're just absolutely fantastic. The other awesome thing about these LEDs is once you've used them up and the batteries are dead, you can take the LED itself out and then wire it into another project because the colors are so intense. I really love using them underneath cellophanes. You can take the cellophane and crunch it up, you can stretch it out, and it gives you a beautiful refraction. You can also use packing tape or clear pieces of plastic, or anything that's going to get you that kind of colored sort of shiny, glistening look. You don't need to be limited by just using cellophane. You can also take hot glue and build it up on the outside, and you can kind of sculpt with it. You can make teeth, you can make fangs, you can make kind of shapes that go around your eyes, pointy bits, sort of just about anything that you want, and let it glow. And you can also take and paint on top of that afterwards, whether it's with a little bit of translucent paint or some more opaque paint so it just shines out in the places you want it to. I also like building up on top of LEDs or any other shapes with packing tape or clear Scotch tape. And you can actually sculpt with the tape and get different shapes happening. Tape makes a really good refraction, and as you crinkle it and get fingerprints on it, you can build up crystalline and really awesome pieces. You can make something on the tips of your fingers, or again, you can build it into your hair or eyes or anywhere onto a mask, get a really nice kind of crystally weird eye shape looking thing. These LED Twinkie lights or fairy lights have really small LEDs on them, nice teeny tiny little ones, and they all come on a string. They're usually about 20 of them for $2, and they're fantastic for weaving through your hair or hiding in a costume or under a costume. You can put it in different layers and then let the light shine out through a translucent fabric, or if you glue crystals onto it, you can kind of put them just about anywhere. And if there's ever one that you don't want, you just wrap some black tape around it or paint it out black, and then you just don't have one there. They're really awesome, and one of my favorite LEDs to use. As well, with these LEDs or any other kind of lights that you're using, you can do the tape trick and wrap it around and make your nice crystally piece, or you can build up with hot glue or kind of manipulate them any way that you want, and it's not going to hurt the light. It just gives you a more interesting shape. This is ElWire, which comes in many forms. I just picked up this cheap small set at the dollar store. I think it was $2, and it's fantastic for whether doing like a Tron costume or something from Ready Player One. You can take something as simple as a black hoodie and stitch this on. If you're just going to do it for the night, you can tape it onto your costume. You can kind of hide it wherever you want, and it runs off 2 AA batteries and then has a switch, and you can have it turn on. You can have it flicker quickly, and you can have it flicker slowly. There's a whole bunch of other different iterations of this. This is just one that's really inexpensive, and I think it comes in many other different colors. This is a really cool little LED fiber optic butterfly that I got from the dollar store. Cool thing about this is it's a nice little packet. It's got the LED built right into it. You can take the wings off, turn it into a point on your costume that's glowing. You can hide it somewhere. It's got the battery and LED in it. The cool thing with fiber optics is all they are is thin, clear pieces of plastic, and there's just a tiny LED in this one that turns different colors, but you can put any kind of LED at the tip of the fiber optic, and every once in a while you can find a lamp that's got these in it, and then you can take those points of fiber and stick them out anywhere in your costume. You can make a little snood and stick it in your hair. You can put them just about anywhere, and they come in a whole bunch of different sizes and shapes, but this is just a really neat, cheap little quick solution. LED puck lights can be really great for lighting up big areas or making like half of a styrofoam ball glow, or somewhere where you need a really bright punch of light. You can also build them into props and just about anywhere. They're called, this particular one's called a cob LED, so the whole LED in the center is one emitter that's made up of 6 separate little light sources. They run off a couple AAA batteries, and they pack a big punch. I've used these LEDs behind eyes on a Deadmau 5 costume. They were giant styrofoam balls, and they made them light up and glow. You can build up pieces on them and have a crystal that you hold, or you could build a chunk of crystal and put it on the end of a wizard's staff. They're just fantastic for making something light up really bright and making a big impact. This is LED tape. This particular one that I'm showing you right now comes from the dollar store, and it's a really great option for putting on flat surfaces. It's got an adhesive back and some nice intense glowing points. You can put something along its edge, or you can run it down part of a costume. Pieces of white foam and other packing materials of thin foam like this that's semi-translucent make really great refractions, and you can kind of bend them into any shape that you want and incorporate those into costumes that hot glues really, really easily. You can take things like these clear plastic balls and shine your lights into those. If they're already colored, it makes it glow that color plus a little bit of a mix of whatever color's behind it, and you can make glowing eyes. And you can also use things like ping pong balls, because the light glows through them so well. You can either put it on the bottom or poke a hole in the ping pong ball and stick the light right inside it to make glowing eyes. You can cut it in half and get more bang for your buck by putting one in each side, and you can just get some really awesome effects and then paint your eyeball shape on top. You can pick up these nice little party lights on Amazon or AliExpress or any kind of site like that. And the really neat thing about them is they have 3 color LEDs in them, and they're controlled with a little infrared sensor off this remote control. So you can set a couple to one type and a couple to another type of flashing, or you can make them all move together. They're a little bit buggy, but they're pretty awesome for just being able to stick somewhere or light up a certain area in a hurry. And I believe they're also supposed to be waterproof. Clear and colored cellophanes can make some really awesome refractive patterns when you put lights underneath them. These particular ones that I'm using are called lighting gels, so they come in every color under the rainbow, and these particular ones that I'm using have been discarded by a theater company because they can only use them for a certain length of time. However, for props and costumes, they work just great. Hard, clear plastic that looks like cut glass makes some amazing refractive shapes and colors. This is another one that you can do crystals, you can hot glue onto pieces, you can take the plastic glasses, this is a plastic punch bowl, and you can use those shapes to make some fantastic effects just by putting a little bit of colored light underneath them. And if you hang the light on a string, it'll just kind of move around and glisten and do all kinds of awesome things. LED tea lights are really cool because they have a little flicker built into them to look like a flame. But the magic behind these is they don't have a circuit board in them. The LED actually has the flicker built right into it. So if you take the flicker candle apart, take the LED out, you can rewire it into something else completely. Or you can stick a few of them together and get more of a random pattern. These are really awesome LEDs for making tiny little flame effects. Also, if you're making little models, you can put the LEDs in as torches. Really awesome. Okay, servos. Everybody wants to do a servo in their project, but servos always seem really daunting. Like you have to program them, or you need a full RC radio, or you need a whole bunch of something really hard. But what I'm going to show you right here is the absolute simplest thing that you can do. You got the 9-gram servo, or any servo really. This is a little controller box that's called a servo driver, and it's used for testing servos, and I think they're about $8. The servo itself is usually a little one like this is about $3, and then you can hook it up to 4 AA batteries. In this one I'm hooking it up to a LiPo battery right now, but that's just because it's what I had on hand. So the really cool thing about these little boxes is you can take them and you can hide them inside your costume somewhere, and you can turn the knob and adjust them as you want, or you can press the button and it can either center it or one more time and it will just run it as a sweep pattern. So it will keep moving the servo back and forth. So if you want to do the ear twitching effect, or make some eyes moving on something, or just kind of start getting into servos and do it on the quick, the easy, and the cheap, a servo driver is a really awesome way to do it. And I'm sure you could hook up a couple of them to one battery, and you could have one knob on each finger and run more than one servo. I believe this servo controller does let you put in 3 servos on one side. They will all do the exact same thing, but really cool, really simple, really easy. Don't be intimidated by servos. Thank you for coming out to Special Effects and Cosplay. If you guys want to hang out for a few minutes afterwards, I'm going to be here live to answer any questions that you have. And if you don't have a chance to do that, come on in, book an appointment in the Makerspace, and we'll see if we can help you make what you want to. Thanks so much, and we'll see you again.